Good morning. Are you ready to get poked by me? I think that's what I do best in life is poke people. I think it's like a funny little double-cheeked, double-tongued, whatever. It's a saying. It's something sort of funny and catchy and cute, right? The get poked thing. It's got sexual innuendo. It's got acupuncture innuendo. But I think for me, the thing that's deeper in that is my general tendency to rock the boat. So no shit that my profession ended up being deeply tied into poking people's internal energy. I think I've been doing this my whole life. What an interesting day. I've been up for a while. I got up late though, 6:38, very late for me. It's the time change. It's this whole spring forward nonsense. My son is struggling with it. I'm struggling with it. But, we managed to still get up and eat and get to the bus and all the things. And then I spent the morning having deep, meaningful conversation, connecting, understanding, communicating, loving, good stuff, good human stuff. And so I'm a little delayed with the podcast. It's 10:09 in Vermont. And I didn't really come on with an intention, which is, I feel like, necessary right now. Because while I am disconnected from the moment-to-moment drama of the now, I am not disconnected with the narrative of now, as you may have picked up. If this is your first time listening, hi. I'm deeply aware. I'm deeply connected. I have a lot of intellectual property invested in the state of affairs of our nation and of our world. But I'm not in the moment-to-moment details because I do understand on a bigger level and multiple levels, like, just what's going on. So, I check in a little bit every day, just kind of, did I miss, is there anything huge? Which it always comes through. I don't need to try for that. I know the stock market is struggling. I know that other protest activities are happening nationwide and globally, which I think that is so cool. I think watching global activism at work is a beautiful thing. It's activism right now, right, on a company. And it's just happening everywhere. I think, like, I was talking about activism. Well, I wasn't. I was listening to somebody talk about activism this morning, someone with a very different perspective than mine. And, I think what's hard to understand, if it's your first time ever being a part of a movement, or you've never been a part of a movement, like really a part of it, not just sort of aligning with it and agreeing with it and feeling good about it, but actually being like, what, I want to participate. I need to participate. I'm feeling called to do it. This is my time to be a part of it. How do I do that? Something about activism that I think people who've never participated in it have a hard time or an impossible time grasping is that activism does take courage. And so when we see individuals doing courageous things, while to us they may seem dangerous or risky or stupid, the fact of the matter is most of the time when people are doing things that are more extreme, I guess, and I'm not talking about violence, I'm talking about the opposite of that. I'm just talking about things that are against the norm, right? That break the rules, break the laws, but not in a harmful way. Like, for instance, the man in London this past weekend who scaled, was it the Elizabeth Tower? I think a lot of people think it's Big Ben. I even saw it reported as Big Ben, but I don't believe it was Big Ben. Big Ben isn't like the clock, it's like the bell or something. There's like a misunderstanding there. I know that much. But what he did, he scaled that building, which I think is their like congressional house, basically, right? Parliament. He wasn't hurting anybody. Might have blocked up traffic, might have caused some police and fire people to come and they had to rescue him or whatever. But for that one act, that one person, to get attention around the world, and not just to get attention, not just have people go, oh, look, he climbed something. But when I was really impressed with him was when I saw the first person video. If you haven't seen it, tell me, I'll share it. I'll put it up on my Patreon, what I loved about it, having done some activist work, I did activism in different ways. I showed up to meetings and spoke. I protested in the streets. I did guerrilla protests where we would descend on art exhibitions, or disrupt otherwise orderly meetings, right? Which a lot of people are going to be irritated with. So I've been a part of those things. And what I know is that to really disrupt the status quo, to really get people to wake up to something that's important, something that people need to wake up to. And it, and sure, maybe you're wrong. Usually when people go to that place, they're not wrong, unless it's like a Ted Kaczynski kind of thing. That's a different thing. But I'm saying when people do it in a nonviolent way, it is disruptive. It is wrong. And that is the point. It's meant to be. It's meant to be disruptive. But to do it without harming people and to deliver a message so powerfully, if you see the first person narrative of this man who climbed the wall, and he clearly knew what he was doing. He was a parkour guy, for sure. He had bare feet. Somehow he'd scaled this fucking building, And I'm sure he knew he was going to get arrested, And being arrested is not the worst thing in the world, not even close. Having a record for something with integrity, people will actually like you more for that. Some people will say, yeah, no, I can't have you here. You have a misdemeanor. You were arrested. Other people will go, well, what was that for? And you go, well, remember that guy who scaled the wall of Parliament? Yeah, that was me. No shit. Oh my God, tell me about that. Some people are going to appreciate that person more. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what other people think. It's that guy's doing what, right? Anyway, I'm getting off here. I'm not getting off. I wish I was getting off. Wait, what? This is a morning coffee talk. I need to stop. I can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop, don't stop. I don't remember what I was saying. Something about activism. Something about doing the right thing. Oh, making an impact. Right. So this one guy, so you see the video. I'll post the video on my Patreon. Subscribe to my Patreon. It's free. I'll put it up there. And you hear him talk in a calm, clear, concise voice. He knew he knew before he got up there what his purpose was. He said it clearly. He stated it for everyone to hear without drama, without violence, in a normal tone of voice. And how was he able to have that voice? Only by scaling that wall and getting that privacy and getting a view of something so dramatic that it would make people look. And through that looking and the action of that one person, that man was able to affect millions of people. Millions of people. So the disagreement, it's not even a disagreement, it's a conversation. As somebody who's participated in movements but never led them, I understand how complex they are. I understand how complex that work is. The creativity and the inspiration and the moment and making a mark and doing something that is so simple and small but that has such a big impact. How do you make the most impact? And that was sort of what the conversation was around, impact, right? But coming from someone who I don't believe has ever participated in something like that, outside of the norms of the laws and the rules and the status quo. And so I could see their perspective, but I'm saying to them, yeah, but if you ever felt that you had to change the world, you would understand why that is such a heavy task. It is impossible work, and yet people do it. And all it takes is a spark of getting, but it actually takes a lot of sparks of us all sparking each other over and over and over until a flame finally catches, And so I don't know exactly what I'm rambling about. What I'm saying is, in some ways I'm disconnected from the moment to moment. So you might get on here and wonder, why am I not talking about? I mean, first of all, this isn't a political space, and yet the personal is political, so it's going to come up. Why are there so many trails in the sky? That is weird. That is really weird. Okay, anyway. I just think this moment in time is very interesting from the place that I sit, literally on a mountaintop alone, like a fucking mommy monk. I think that's what I am. I think I'm a mommy monk. A mommy monk needle ninja. A mommy monk needle ninja. That's me. I just think it's cool And I'm proud of people right now. Like, there's a lot of shitty people, but there's also a lot of fucking great people. And when I see people coming together to do good things, like crashing stocks and getting huge companies and corporations to turn off their comments and supporting Canada, who Canada's border is like an hour and a half from me. To see people of this country supporting people who are boycotting us, who are like, to see people have appreciation and love for that and understand the bigger goal. I don't know, man. I understand why people are freaking out, and I understand why people are upset. There's real reason, because we're going to have to adapt. And maybe that's the message that I have today that's coming through with everything and everyone, including my own personal conversations, is that, yeah, discomfort. Yeah, disruption. But as I was taught as a kid, anything worth having, generally speaking, is going to be difficult. It's going to be hard work. If it wasn't, everybody would have it. Everybody would do it. And so whether it's satisfaction with the world, with our own lives, with the work that we do, with our mental health, our physical health, whatever it is, it's going to be uncomfortable to get what you want. But if you know what you want and you go for it, even if you don't get all of it, even if you don't get any of it, the effort you put in to fighting for yourself and your life and your community and your world, like that in and of itself is a beautiful thing, and it is a productive thing. And even if you don't get what you want, you will be closer to what you need, and you will be closer to getting whatever the next thing is that you want, or if it's still that thing you want, you know. I have a lot of hope right now from my vantage point, and maybe that's all I needed to share today. I'm trying to enjoy the last few days of winter. I've had a good winter, but I've struggled a bit because I've been as inactive in the last like 5.5 months, oh my God, than I've maybe ever been, or not ever, but in a long time. And it's been hard on me because I'm getting stiff because of the cold, and it kind of makes me feel a little older, and you know, I have some issues that I'm not quite working out. But the truth is that I have been running around for 2 years, and it's been stressful and hard. My body's been messed up. And so this winter I got pinned down. It was like, I went snowshoeing a few times. That's about it. I do a little yoga every day to keep things open and functional, but that's it. Other than that, I'm sitting or I'm laying down, or I'm, cooking, cleaning, mom shit. But I needed it. I needed to rest. I needed to heal. I'm still not totally healed. My arms are almost there. I had bilateral bicep tendonitis. So my biceps at the elbow, like on the front part, not the back part, super painful. Like anything that I would do to lift even the smallest thing for like a year, more than a year, pain. It's pain in my arms, both arms, and the biceps. Or not the biceps, I want to say the triceps, but it's not the triceps. It's my lower arm, but it's bicep tendonitis. So the tendons there at the elbow are, anyway, so that, I broke my ankle. That took a while to heal. And then my left side, I have like sort of an injury on my knee that sort of affected everything. And then it turned into plantar fasciitis. So I had pain in my foot. So my whole body has just been like, had a lot of pain, and I've never really had that issue in my life. So yeah, so I needed to heal, and I can feel winter's ending. We still have a lot of snow here in Vermont. 3/4 of it has melted in the last day, but there's still a lot of snow. So winter's going, spring is coming. I'm excited about it. My body does feel healed, and now my body needs to move. And for me, that's what's coming up in spring. And in springtime, you should be feeling that motivation to move. And if you're not feeling that, I would point you towards really simple things you could do every day to help your body feel that upward motility that's literally coming up under our feet right now. We have an energy in the ground under us. The kidney energy is stirring, the bulbs that are planted, they're starting to pull apart and open. They want to bust through the ground. It takes a lot of energy to bust through the ground. So under our feet right now, I mean this literally, right? This carbon energy here on Earth, it is coming into an upward spring up action. And we feel that in our bodies. And if we're out of alignment, we're going to feel more irritable, maybe more angry, maybe more anxious. Touch the ground, get out as soon as you can, start walking outside, get out, look up at the sky, reach both ways, sky and earth. You can get on all fours, you can lay on your belly. You can drink apple cider vinegar to help get things cleaned out and moving. And I don't mean straight, like in water. There's lots of apple cider vinegar drinks you can do. Don't do it with sugar though. Oh my God. I see influencers and people selling stuff telling you to do it with sugar. Please just don't do sugar. Just don't do it. Just say no, as Nancy Reagan said. Oh, Nancy Reagan. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Spring's coming. I'm feeling it. I'm getting ready for it. I'm resting these last few days that I have because winter is still here for us in Vermont. You know, it's stretching out a little. So I'm enjoying it. I'm plotting and planning about writing. I feel like I need to knock a story out. So hopefully I can do that. I have goals. What are your goals? What are you thinking about? What do you want to do? What's happening for you? That's what I want to know. So subscribe to my YouTube, join as a member on my Patreon. It's free. I prefer Patreon, but please, YouTube, I post my live videos from TikTok that I do during my podcast there. So you can listen to it that way, but I sound better on Patreon because I have this microphone, so it captures my voice a little better, and I've been told I have a nice voice. I've been told it puts people to sleep. So if you have trouble sleeping, you might want to consider me as like nighttime ASMR, knock you out. That or I'm really boring. I don't really care which, just listen. Okay. Yeah, all my links are there. Check them out. Easy peasy. Nice Needles on YouTube, Nice Needles on Blue Sky. Patreon, I'm Getting Poked by Laura. My handle's Nice Needles though. I don't know why you can't find me that way, but Getting Poked by Laura. So thanks for getting poked. I hope it was good for you. It was good for me, boo-boo. I love you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Oh, it's Hump Day. Hump.